Court bars CBN from extending February 10 deadline. Abuja Federal High Court stopped PDP from suspending Governor Wike from the party. Federal government to increase minimum wage of workers and business. Marketers decry law patronage due to scarcity of new Naira notes. And on the international scene, Mali government sent United Nations officials out of its country. On sports, Premier League accuses Manchester City of breaking financial fair play law. Hello and welcome to Svtv Television News, type of headlines and non-news on phone. Justice Inuojo Enichi of the Federal Capital Territory High Court has stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and 27 commercial banks from suspending or interfering with the currency redesign terminal dates of February 10th or issue any directive contrary to the said date. For more on the story, Jamila Ibrahim reports.
In a motion by 5 political parties, the court also granted an order directing the chief executive officers of the banks to show cause why they should not be arrested and prosecuted for the financial sabotage of the country by illegally holding and not disbursing the new 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1,000 banknotes, despite supply of such notes by the central bank. The Naira redesign has, however, created hardship among Nigerians who have struggled to lay hands on the new notes as the February 10th deadline for the currency swap inches closer. In a related development, the operatives of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested a bank manager in Abuja for refusing to load new Naira notes into the ATM machine, even though there are $29 million in the bank. Before the arrest, the EFCC officials immediately gave instructions and the money was poured into the payment machine to pay the customers who spent hours waiting on the line. Even last week, ICPC officials arrested some bank executives in Abuja. Jamila Ibrahim Dusa reporting for Standard Voice Television.
Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja had on Monday ordered the People's Democratic Party not to take any action aimed at suspending or expelling Rivers State Governor Nelson Wike from the party. For more on the story, Samir Ibrahim reports.
The order was made upon an ex parte motion filed by Governor Wike against the entire hierarchy of the PDP. Respondent in the motion are the PDP, its National Working Committee, National Executive Committee, National Chairman of the party, National Secretary, and the Independent National Electoral Commission. By the motion, the applicant is praying for an order to maintain the status quo and stay all actions in this matter relating to the threats to suspend or expel him, pending the hearing and determination of the originating summons. In a related development, the Supreme Court of Nigeria confirmed Senator Ahmad Lawan as a legitimate candidate for Yobe North senatorial seat. Judge Santos Nwazi said Bashir Machina had failed to present to the Federal High Court in the matter the evidence alleging fraud in the selection process to invite Ahmad Lawal to the court. The APC has challenged Bashir Machina as its candidate for the Yobe North senatorial seat, saying Ahmad Lawal is known as the legitimate candidate. At the previous hearing, the party's lawyer, Peters, said the selection process that gave Machina victory violated the 2022 election law. Meanwhile, Justice R.O. Ayula of the Kogi High Court has committed Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdurrashid Bawa, to prison for alleged contempt. The judge, who awarded 10 million naira against EFCC, ordered the Inspector General of Police to arrest Bawa forthwith wherever he is and send him to Kuje Correctional Center for 2 weeks without any delay until he purges himself of the contempt. The judge gave the order while deliberating his judgment on an application brought before him by one Ali Bello through his counsel, S.A. Abbas, who prayed the court to commit the EFCC boss for disobeying a court order earlier granted by Justice Ayula. Newsmen in Lokoja reported that Ayula had on December 12, 2022 delivered a ruling in favor of Bello, who had dragged EFCC to court for arresting and detaining him illegally. But 3 days after his freedom, as ordered by the court, the EFCC went ahead and arrested and arraigned him for alleged money laundering. That's the report. Samira Ibrahim reporting for Standard Voice TV.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federal, Mr. Boss Mustafa, says the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is committed to improving the minimum wage of workers to boost productivity. Mr. Mustafa made this known on Monday in Abuja at the inauguration of Hassan Sumunu's court. Reports gathered that the Hassan Sumunu Court, a two-story building, was built by the Nigeria Labour Congress and named after Sumunu, its founding president. He said that the Buhari-led administration is concerned about improving the welfare of public service and had paid the arrears of retired airway workers. In his welcome remarks, the NLC chairman, Wappa, said the NLC built the Edify to show that the trade unions are not only known for their agitation but for investment. He commended the working committees and the National Executive Council for the effort and collaboration to ensure that the building was completed. A fire outbreak at Muna Garage internally displaced persons camp in Maiduguri, Borno State, has left many people homeless. The inferno, which occurred around 11 a.m. on Monday, also destroyed food items and other valuables in detached houses. An eyewitness said the fire, which ranged from almost an hour, was fueled by the dry wind of the Harmattan season. One of the IDPs said the actual cause of the fire and the number of people affected could not be ascertained, but the damage is too much. Another 7-year-old victim, an indigene of Bali in Mafa local government area, said he lost property worth over 100,000 to the fire. The All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Asuwaji Bola Tinubu has donated 100 million to victims of banditry in Katsina State. This was disclosed by the Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari during the APC presidential campaign rally in the state, adding that his government was doing its best to end the spread of insecurity confronting the state. According to him, the APC presidential candidate gave the donation to be distributed to all victims of insecurity in the state. He further prayed to God to forgive the souls of over 400 volunteers recently killed by the terrorists in the state and expose the perpetrators. Governor Masari told the gathering that leadership is not a matter of joke, adding that it is an issue that needs people that are capable of delivering. He called on the people to ensure that they vote for APC at all levels, saying that the party has done well in the past 7.5 years of its governance. And on business, marketers have decried low patronage due to scarcity of new Naira notes as prices of grains and other food items falls in Katsina and Zamfara states. Reports gathered that the prices of maize, guinea corn, millet and beans have gone down compared to what obtained about 3 weeks ago. For more on the story, over to our correspondent Svtv Ibrahim, who conducted a survey of food prices in the states.
Secretary of Gusau Grains Market noted that the Naira scarcity has really affected their businesses, leading to low patronage by the customers, adding that a few weeks ago the market is always filled with people carrying out business transactions. He said they are experiencing a low turnout of customers and the new Naira notes are really scarce even among themselves. He added that it has really affected the people in the rural areas because most of them do not have bank accounts, talk less of online transactions. Another marketer said the price of grains have fallen as a result of Naira redesign and its scarcity. He said a bag of soybeans sells for about 27,000 Naira in most markets now as against the old price of 32,000 Naira. A bag of guinea corn now sells at 14,000 Naira and below, depending on the quality, whereas the old price was 18,000 Naira, while a bag of millet, which used to sell at 24,000 Naira, now costs 20,000 Naira in Katsina. Millet 31,000 Naira, but now 26 to 27,000 Naira. A labourer at the market also said the scarcity of the notes have really affected them, saying that after they finish their work and expecting to be paid so that he can use the money to feed himself and his family, they will be asked to give their account details, which he doesn't have. The marketer, however, noted that a majority of the grains farmers will not accept electronic cash transfer from patrons. Very few enlisted farmers accept money transfer during transaction and sell the grain at higher rates. For instance, if a bag of grain costs 20,000 Naira in cash payment, cash transfer will cost 23,000 Naira and above.
In spite of the price decrease, grain seller complained about low patronage as patrons were having challenges in accessing money from banks and from POS operators. Some residents urged governments to expedite action at easing the agony being experienced in cash availability. The marketers also called on government and authorities concerned to intensify efforts at making the new Naira notes available so as to ease suffering of the people and to enhance socio-economic activities. Fawzi Ibrahim reporting for SVTV.
And on the international scene,
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
the military government of Mali has given the head of the United Nations peacekeeping forces 2 days to leave the country. In a statement by the spokesperson of the government, the head of the army, Guillaume Nagefa Atundoko Andila, committed acts of sabotage in the selection of witnesses who were presented to testify before the Security Committee of the United Nations. Last month, a leader of the civilian group who gave an explanation in the hall of the UN Security Council alleged that human rights are being violated under the joint military operations that Mali is doing with Russia. On spot. Premier League has accused Manchester City of breaking the law of spending more than its aim, namely financial fair play. The Etihad Group was also found guilty after a long investigation into its financial affairs. In the investigation, City was found violating the Financial Fair Play Act between the 2009-10 and 2017-18 season. In 2022, City was banned from participating in the Champions League for 2 seasons, and later the Internal Court of Appeal overturned the decision. At the time of the European Football Federation, UEFA made a decision after saying that it has found City guilty of breaking the Financial Fair Play Act between 2012 and 2016. And that's all on the news. To end the news, a recap of the major headlines. Court bars CBN from extending February 10 deadline. Abuja Federal High Court stopped PDP from suspending Governor Wike from the party. Federal government to increase minimum wage of workers and business. Marketers decry low patronage due to scarcity of new Naira notes. And on the international scene, Mali government sent United Nations officials out of its country. On spot, Premier League accuses Manchester City of breaking financial fair play law. Thank you for watching. I'm Sumaydo, so you have a pleasant day and keep watching Netflix television news. You can watch this and many more on our social media platforms.